You're not that late.
Couple minutes. Drove,
Oh,
I drove like a madman to get back here.
well, everything okay?
Yeah, everything went good. Just when you're pushing it,
Oh, I know.
get rid of the damn emojis. God, I hate that emoji bullshit.
Justin said link.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Thought Justin had a bookmark link.
Well, you would have thought, right? Copy link.
Justin said link.
Paste. In. Okay, the link should be pinned now. We should be
Okay.
good to go.
Well, I left here about 11 o'clock to go fly, trying to find a place around Robert, Louisiana, where they got the Tangipahoa River. Trying to find access to get in there. Couldn't find it. Reached down to get my phone. Didn't have my phone with me. Said, "You got to be kidding." I was gonna look on the phone and look at the maps. Went over to Gust Island area. I came back and I was gonna fly the other side of the Tchefuncte River. It's a little bit of stream. Got out my car. There was a guy fishing. Took 2 steps and I felt like rubber bands pop in my back, and I couldn't even walk.
Really?
Oh yeah, couldn't even walk. Couldn't stand up. I was leaning against the car. No phone, leaning against the car. Finally, I was able to get back in the car, and I came home. I didn't think I was gonna make it up the stairs. So I get inside, and I got a TENS unit on now, doing electrical stimulation to it,
Yeah.
and it still hurts. I didn't do a thing. Took 2 steps.
So David's doing all right, doing better.
That's what she said. It was doing okay. And I got to shut up Joe right off the bat. You look at that. See if I'm nice again.
What's up, Laura?
Your volume's way down there, Justin.
Dominic. Morning.
Good morning, Dominic.
Laura, so where's my tiny violin for Joe? Don't worry, he's printing one.
Yeah. I need a print one. My back is killing me.
I did that a couple of times just standing up. My fucking back went out.
Yeah, it was like I got out the car, took my first step with my right foot, my second step with my left foot, and I felt boom, boom, like 2 rubber bands pop.
All it takes. There was one time I went to get up out of the car about 4 or 5 years ago. I stood up to get out of the car and just normal get up out of the car and working my back went out.
Yeah. Well, I heard it Thursday a week ago at the funeral, or 2 weeks ago. That's when I heard it the first time. It was last week. I think the funeral was last Thursday. Yeah, because I kept having to pick up the baby. And every time she wanted me to hold her, and she's getting, like I said, she's getting heavy. And my back started hurting by the time I got home. Well, got a shut up Joe, shut up Justin, and a high Dominic, so we know where we stand.
Oh, always.
I'm at to print a big llama.
Get a lot of spam calls.
So I didn't get to fly my drone today, and I'm pissed.
Well, I went down to the ship that I just did, that I just came back from. I went down there and sat down there and it put in Sarnia for fuel at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Uh,
So it fueled up and now it's upbound and. The way
Paul's
my
pissed
days
they're not
went.
going by his schedule.
I was going to fly a couple of trains out near Johnny. I was going to call him and say, meet me down there. So I get almost to the place, I reach in my pocket, and my phone's not in my pocket. So then with that idea, so I changed it around to fly closer to me. That's when I stopped and got out the car, and and that's when I hurt myself.
Do you twist the wrong way, do you think, or?
I think it was sitting in the car, just the angle I was on, just sitting there. And when I got out the car, maybe the way I twisted. And this tinge unit is not working. Oh, I got a call coming in. Hold
Gotta increase it.
on. I'm gonna do it.
Do is go to one of those massage places and get a massage.
Yeah.
Well, it depends upon which which unit you have for the giving you the stimulation. There's some of them you can dial them up and down and make it stronger, and some of them are just are what they are. The TENS units.
I've used the TENS unit a couple times, but never really used them that much.
You didn't like it?
I never really had a need to use one. I mostly was just messing around with them. Somebody had one and we were playing
Oh,
around with
okay.
it. I know my dad had one when he broke his thumb years ago. He was at the firehouse and he did something on the fire truck and his thumb went almost all the way back to his hand. And he had to get surgery on it and then use one of those units for quite a few months. What's up, Johnny?
Johnny,
What's up with Johnny today? I thought he was gonna go. He must have missed it. He didn't go and meet up with Joe and fly.
Now I was on my way that way, and I was gonna call Johnny and realize I didn't have my phone. I was gonna see what he was doing because I was gonna
Oh,
go out by
thought
Manchac.
you had
Yeah.
arranged to fly.
Johnny said I would have went.
He would have went.
You should have been there, Johnny. You could have helped him get back in the car.
Yeah. Dom, Joe's asking how you're doing. Dom's
They're both
muted.
muted.
Yep. Both of them are muted.
I'm back.
Johnny asked how you were doing.
Yeah, I'm all right. Yep, I'm good. I was on the phone. Yeah, hanging in there. Could be better.
So your back still hurts, Joe?
Still muted too.
I'm on the phone right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got to get that sorted out. You can't go around hobbling around and
Hmm.
because he's a busy kind of guy. He's not just sitting around the house. Well, Johnny, according to Joe, he was out there and he was trying to figure out how to get a hold of you, and then he was sitting in the car, and he doesn't know if he was sitting in there wrong or whatever, but all of a sudden his back went out when he went to get out of the car. So now he's got a sore back and whatever else. Do you see what Johnny put in the chat? Oh, damn, he can't fly with nursing home flyers.
yeah, that's funny.
Well, you could be medical assist for Joe. So anyway,
Mhm.
that's what the latest information is right now. Is I think Joe's trying to get a hold of the doctor or something.
Now you can hear something. We're just not talking, Jonathan. Yeah.
So, nothing going on with you, Justin?
Really. Trying to get Nightbot set back up.
How's your pupil doing?
Oh, good.
Yeah, Jonathan asked how you doing there, Johnny.
Yeah, I'll be listening for a minute. My son's trying to tell me his great day in the Marine Corps.
Another wonderful day in the Marine Corps, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can call it that.
Well, now, how long is he gonna be up there?
Well, he's got a couple more years at that base, but he's planning on going 20 years at least.
Wow.
He's going through Starbucks right now to get a coffee. He probably got a wife. His wife's probably mad at him, so he's getting her one. He just told me it's funny. You don't know how right you are.
What's up, Jonathan?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Connected to Twitch.
Okay, I'll be back.
So, yeah, it's been really slow on the lakes here lately. That's one of the reasons why I went down kind of in post haste to go down there and get that ship. I like to at least get one, if not more, a day. Then again, you know, the world will not end if I don't get one. I have to keep telling myself that. Okay. So we got 11 people watching. Jonathan, Johnny, Joe. I think they're waiting for some breaking news. Laura's here somewhere. There is no breaking news going on here.
What's that? What was that?
Yeah, I think politics are going to get nasty, Paul, Joe.
Close this down so you can see the chat. What's, something new going on with the politics or something?
Just the usual backfighting. But Joe Biden's putting out some really nasty advertisements. But then again, you got to consider the source. You know, they're trying to put out the advertisements that make him look good compared to, you know, his son's on trial today.
Well, today he's got another diversion. He signed an executive order to stop the border at 2,500 people a day.
Yeah.
2,500 people a day that could come in. And he said, I'm signing executive legislation that the Republicans wouldn't do. Wait, President Trump did that, and he's the one that revoked it. He revoked it.
Yeah.
You know, they said there's 8 million people that came through since he revoked it, not telling how many gotaways. And they have no idea where they're at.
Probably 10 million.
No idea where they're at. And last night in San Diego, there was, like, I think they said there was 4,500 came across last night from countries all over the world. We asked one guy, what are you here for? And he says, I don't know. It just smiled and just, where are we right now? It says San Diego is where the lights, okay. Where's border control? Because they know they go to border control, they're gonna get signed in and get a freaking, get a card, a Visa card.
Yeah.
It's totally ridiculous. And then there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna believe, well, yeah, he's fixing it now. No, he's not fixing it now. He ruined it when he signed off on it the day he took office, when he opened the border and took the wall back down. It was not happening. They were staying in Mexico. They had an agreement with Mexico that they had to remain in Mexico until they were vetted. It's totally ridiculous. It's all right. When it's a coordinated terrorist attack here in the country, it's going to be 90% of the people involved in that terror attack that came here illegally, then maybe people open their freaking eyes.
Well, the thing of it is they're gonna the bad guys are coming in left and right, and they wonder why there's shootings and crimes on the street.
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
And then in New York City, when they attacked the cops, because one of them did something, they arrested him, and everybody attacks the cops, and they arrest them, and then the DA slaps them on the wrist. The same DA that just prosecuted Trump slaps him on the wrist and says, "You don't need a bond, you can go."
Yep.
You know, and they laugh about it. They come out smiling, flipping the cameras off. You know, and then they leave and go to another city, and nobody knows where they're at now. It's ridiculous. What's up, Mark? And all it is because it's 5 months to an election, and he's trying to make it look like he's doing something.
Yeah, like he's Mr. all for the country, you know. And I get sick and tired of hearing him talk about how, you know, food prices and the cost of living and everything is so much lower under him. Are you kidding me?
Yep. It's all right. November 5th is Judgment Day. But I believe that before we get to November 5th, and it could be the last week of October, going to be something major happen to screw us all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't that always the way?
Yep.
How you doing, Mark?
I'm fine, thank you. We've had some weird weather.
Really?
Well, it rained this morning, then it went fine, then it rained again, then it went sunny.
Yeah. Now it's raining.
No, it's not. But it's not sunny or fine anymore because it's got dark.
Rod, hot rod, what's up?
Hi, Rod.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm alive.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that's a
figured you
good
were
thing.
alive. I've seen you every once in a while and stuff, but nobody never coming on.
Morning. Good evening. Here we go.
Working on the same thing you've been working on, Joe. Losing weight.
Oh, shoot. I wish I was 30 pounds lighter. I might not have
Yeah.
had my back popped today.
Saturday morning, I walked 10 miles in one
Yeah.
go. In one go. Literally walked 10 miles.
I remember the days when I used to run 10 miles.
Yeah, I know. Into
We used
basic
to have we-
training, I could have ran
Yeah.
6, 7 miles and it'd been like, okay, give me more, give me more.
I was running one day here at 8th District with Katie Mitchell, and she was one of the sergeants there too. And we were running, we did about 5 miles, and we finished and we sat there and we were walking around and looked at each other and said, do it again. And we ran back and did another 5 miles. Let's go do it again.
Sure.
But
No, I believe
we
that.
used to-
I believe that 100%. 100%.
we used to do a run for fun from Belle Chase, Louisiana to back into Algiers, Louisiana. It was 10 miles. And we'd get bussed down there and then we'd run back as a platoon in formation.
So anyways, I've been spending a lot of time working on that. I've also been fishing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Remember, I got that new sonar ball thing. That thing's fun to play with. At least when I'm fishing in a spot, I know there's fish in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
The other part of it is that is rather interesting on that sonar ball is you get a good feel, and I've seen it in a couple of places, whether the fish are sort of hanging out down towards the bottom or whether they're hanging out. Typically, if they're not hanging on near the bottom, they're like 3 feet below the top of the water, give or take. They tend to be in one of those two places.
Well, Joe,
Oh.
you went fishing out in that pond, didn't you?
Yeah. I went out in the pond and on the property, caught some bass out there. And the guy today where I hurt my back, he had a guy sitting over there, he was catching catfish in the little pond over on Gus Island Road. I was getting ready, like I said, I was walking over there. I hollered, "You catch anything?" He said, "A couple cats." And I went to when I got out the car and I took 2 steps, I was going to go over there and look at him. Took 2 steps and this one back pop. I said, "God darn it!" It actually felt like a rubber band popping. That's what it felt like.
So our lakes are stocked with largemouth bass, basically. Never seen a catfish. I'm surprised somebody hasn't caught one somewhere and like turned it loose, but no catfish. Some ways it'd be
Yeah.
okay to have a few catfish, something to clean up the bottom of the ponds,
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because they're the mudders on the bottom, cleaning the garbage up.
Yeah. Dave said that pond had catfish in it, but I haven't caught any, but I haven't tried to catch any.
Let's see here.
And he actually went out there yesterday and cut the grass. And he bought, like I said, he used to have a Holy Stone. And he said, what do you think I ought to do with the Holy Stone? I said, put it in the trash can. And he wound up buying a Mini 3 Pro and he did a asteroid yesterday out by the property. He said a little island in the country. That's what he said, and put a little asteroid up.
Marcus has just done a video on the latest Hollystone, and it says it's the best one they've ever made. Says it's still
Yeah.
not as DJI, but it's the best one. Hollystone.
That's the one with a whole bunch of numbers in front of it, right?
I
It's a
can't-
Hollystone, all different kinds of numbers.
That's
It's
a big one.
$500.
Yeah, that was
About
about 4 pounds
3 pounds?
plus. Yeah, about 4 pounds plus, probably.
Yeah, it looks like about 4.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it was advertised at
He was.
about 469 or something.
Yeah.
He said, but they had a 15% discount and then £100 voucher, so it was something like 370.
I only
Good
gotta
so
go
much.
like 30, I only gotta go like 30 feet and sit in my chair to fish there. That's literally in my backyard. There's there's nice bass in these ponds.
Jim says he fishes at the Halibut House or the Red Lobster.
Yeah,
Well, you better go to the Red Lobster quick because they're about to close. They're closing their doors.
we'll see whether they survive or not.
Well, they said they were shutting down.
Denny's is shutting down nationwide too. They already announced.
Yeah, I have never
I
Jim.
eaten at
I
a
hadn't
Red
heard
Lobster.
that about Denny's.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Red
filed for
Lobster
Chapter-
just did chapter 11.
Yeah, they filed for complete. They're completely solvent, so they have to shut all their doors. Same
So
with
they did
99
so
Cent
they
and
did a
Local.
chapter 7 and dissolved.
Yeah, they're just done. They have to shut down everything, and then they're 99 Cent only on the West Coast. They're doing the same thing because most of their stores are located in the states that are allowing all the crazy shoplifting and shit.
Yeah.
And when they did their books for the year, they were only making like a little over $1 million profit, and they had like 600 some locations, which is
Wow.
ridiculous, crazy. So they got to shut down now too. They're shutting their doors too. They're shutting all their locations.
Hey, what a country.
Huh?
I hear, man, we got tons of businesses moving to Florida. Shit tons. And now that they put in those new squatter laws, now you got a lot of investors wanting to come down here and buy up real estate now. They don't have to deal with
Yeah.
the squatters anymore. If you're squatting in a place you don't have a lease to, they can just have the sheriff come remove you the same day. They don't even have to get a court report. They just come in and remove you
That's the way it ought to be.
because
Ooh.
they consider it stealing the property. So,
Well,
and that's the way, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly the way it should be.
at minimum, it's trespass.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like in other states, they don't consider it trespassing. They consider it, oh, you have a lawful reason to be there. And then they let them get away with it. And it takes months and months, sometimes up to a year to get them out.
Mm.
It's fucking stupid in some places. Where they,
Yeah, they've got the same kind of thing over here with squatters' rights. Stupid.
it's an accident.
think-
But no, they,
Over empty mills that are due to be knocked down, and then they can't knock them down.
They're not
because-
closing they're not closing all of Denny's. I'm looking at the article. They're closing more stores, yes. And they're going to close more stores across the country, yes. But they're not completely. They didn't file chapter 11 or chapter 7. They're just starting to pull back.
downsize.
Yeah. They're not the only restaurant chain. COVID put a terrible
Oh, it killed a lot.
terrible burden on those guys. Fucking the retail sales guys. I know a really, really fucking large company that damn near everybody knows that came a whisker from going out of business because of COVID. And I mean large.
Didn't help that the
In
businesses were pushing.
in the clothing industry, large, and
Well, it
came
didn't
within a whisker of going under.
didn't help
It,
that the businesses were pushing that narrative with the government though.
no, it definitely helped the online businesses though.
Yeah, but a lot of companies were, all on the side of all these like fucking woke laws and shit. And then now after they're getting hammered with shoplifting, oh, now they want help. After they were
Yes.
supporting all that bullshit. Now they want help and now they're all fleeing those states now and they were the ones supporting all that bullshit.
I don't know. Portland finally reenacted making narcotic drugs illegal again after they made them not a crime. Because
Yeah,
of how much crime went up after they did that.
yeah, people are getting frustrated.
If you want to know what not to do as a government, look at California.
In Portland, I think Portland lost that crazy ass mayor too. I think she got voted out, didn't she?
I don't know.
I don't think that she's mayor there anymore. She was the one that was allowing them to have the what was it, the exclusion zone and all that crap and weren't letting the cops go in there. Yeah.
Chaz.
I'm sorry, but law enforcement should have the ability when a state or a local government is hindering them from upholding the laws that are set in place, they should be able to override that and say, fuck you, we're doing it anyway. Because that's ridiculous. I don't know how anybody would want to be a cop in any of those areas, man. It's just,
Yep.
I wonder so many cops are coming down here and taking advantage of those sign-off bonuses Florida's giving them. Yeah, like
You know,
$17
it's
million
like
last year
it's
for
like
that.
the DJI ban if they do that thing. Good luck trying to is many drones. You're never going to enforce it. Not in
Well,
not in the consumers.
last year, Florida gave away $17 million in sign-on bonuses for first responders moving from other states. And then they're putting another, I think, 15 million in the budget this year for it.
And they get
So,
property tax relief too.
yeah, they're getting all kinds of bonuses for moving down here. I don't blame them neither. I mean, why would you want to be in an area where you're not being supported, And then if you actually do shoot somebody in a legit manner because they pulled a gun, they charge you with murder anyway. Say it was unjust. A lot of cops that's happened to over the last few years where it was a legit shooting and they got nailed to the wall anyway.
Well, they got that one in Atlanta, Georgia, that they were looking for a guy, and they knocked on the door and they said police, and the kid opened the door, and he had a gun in his hand, and they shot him. And now the cop got fired. They said it was excessive force, deadly force. And the guy opened the door when he heard him say police with a gun in his hand.
Pointed a gun at him, yeah.
Yeah, that right there, to me, they just threw the cop under the bus.
Yep. Down here, like I said, they would have gave that cop a pat on the back and told him good job. Probably gave him a bonus at the end of the year.
Honest, the
Just
guy
like
had
that.
right to open the door with a gun in his hand because he didn't know they were actually the police until he opened the door.
That is true.
But they're saying they were saying police. So
Yeah.
Well, most places it's
Look at
But anybody could run up on somebody's door and yell police. So until you physically see them.
well, I mean, why would
right.
you open the door unless you were for sure anyway, though? Like I wouldn't have
No
opened the
point.
door unless I knew for sure it was the cops.
Well,
Like if I looked out,
it was a bold attempt for him to show how big and bad he was because maybe he thought it was some of his bros were coming over and fooling with him.
well, the bad
Well,
part
like I
about it, he's an Air Force veteran, and he was still active duty in the Air Force, and he opened the door with the gun in his hand, and
that kid.
Yeah, they shot him.
like
Yeah.
I said, if anything, you look out your window at least and see who it is. You see 20 guys standing there with police uniforms on. Yeah, you might want to open the door.
You might want to put the gun down first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, if you want to do something with the gun thing, put it in your waistband kind of thing where somebody can see that it's there, but don't have it in your fucking hand.
I'm saying that's
Right
why you
now-
don't open the door unless you know for sure anyway.
If I know it's police at my door, there's no way in hell I'm gonna stand there with a gun.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm
Oh,
with you. I'm with you.
Joe, how would you know whether they were the police or not? You haven't got
Look out the
window
window.
of the door. You're on the first floor balcony. Have you got a window that looks out onto that balcony, and can you see your front door from it?
Maybe I can.
If it was an apartment complex,
Well,
all those
most
doors,
doors
all
have
those doors
peepholes.
have the eye peep thing.
Yeah, people.
Peephole. I have a peephole, but it's covered by the dartboard.
I've got a doorbell camera, but the amount of people that stand to one side of it so it doesn't take a picture of them, probably because they're working illegally, but the amount of delivery drivers that actually don't stand in front of the camera when they press the doorbell.
But to the point, why the hell would you throw the cop under the bus for what was clearly a potentially deadly threat standing 2 feet from you?
Well, and the thing is if generally that cop didn't know whether he was going to do anything or not. I mean,
No.
the thing is you only have a split second to react in a situation like that, and you got to
Yeah.
make the decision. And people are human. And if that cop felt like he was in danger, I mean, it's hard to really throw him under the bus
Yep.
and say, you know,
Big difference from that and that one guy in South Carolina who just like stood there and shot that guy. He was running away.
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
big
that
difference.
kind of, yeah,
Big
that's
That
difference.
cop, that cop
Big
needs to be
difference.
thrown under the bus.
That cop needed to go to jail for the rest of his fucking life. You could just tell looking at that incident that guy was just an idiot with a gun.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, you need to go to jail. No question. Guy's not even staring at you. He's running away. You're shooting him in the back. Yeah, you're going down.
Mm.
Yeah, but it doesn't surprise me that a lot of these law enforcement officers are leaving these states and moving. Cause it's like, I wouldn't want to be a cop there either. I mean, you get into a legit situation, you don't know if you're gonna, before you would know for sure that, um, this was justified and you're gonna get to go home and all that stuff after the investigation, you'll be back on duty. But now you don't even know in some places.
Yep.
You're gonna be up all night, you're gonna be up for days stressing out, wondering if you're gonna get charged because of politics.
Joe, there was something that went down that I was kind of really surprised at. So, Axon, who's Taser, the guys that make the Taser, but anyways, Axon at one time announced that they were looking into drones with tasers on them, kind of thing. And
Sounds good.
fucking all the left-wing nutty nuts all went nutty nut. Oh, that just means the police are going to tase more people, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like,
Hope so.
okay, so what's
Would you
what's
rather
the
shoot
worst
him?
of two evils? They accidentally tase the wrong person, or they accidentally shoot the wrong person with a gun. Maybe you want to give them tasers so that they don't have to use a damn gun.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is everybody knows tasers are very actually not that great of tools to begin with because half the time they don't even work.
Mm.
Because if somebody's wearing baggy clothes, them prongs are going to get into their skin anyway. I mean, there's and that's the whole argument people try to make. Oh, he ran at you with a knife. Why didn't you just hit him with the taser? Well, anybody
Yeah.
knows that if you're within, I think it's the average is
6
if
feet.
you're within 22 feet of somebody, they can actually run at you faster and try to stab you than most people can pull the gun and aim it and shoot it
I
within a
think it's less than that. I
22
think
foot
it's like
range.
20 feet.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. It's like 20, 25 feet, somewhere in there is the average range that somebody has the capability of running full speed at you and being able to stab you before you could pull a gun and fire it. So, you can't rely on a apparatus that doesn't work half the time and try to say that that's what you should have done. And then they say, well, why didn't you shoot the perp in the leg? Because they're not trained to do that. They're trained to shoot center mass, put the threat down.
If you pull the gun, it's
Back in a
deadly
minute.
force. It's deadly force. That's the only reason you pull it.
Exactly. But when somebody's running, it don't matter if it's a knife, a gun,
Mm-mm.
or a freaking shovel. If they're
You
running
know,
at you with a weapon,
there
you
was
forfeit your life at that point.
last fall, there was a lady that got, oh shit. It was right after my daughter and I, crap, this happened right after school let out. There was a lady at Ormond Beach Park, and one of those citizens on patrol, the traffic guys came up, and she kind of went off on him, and then she went over to her car, and so he came up and parked behind her to sort of get her info. Because you know, she was like, I really freaking going off on him. She freaking drove in. She drove into the back of him, so she literally backed up into his car, his truck car. Some other cops show up. She comes out of the car with a knife in her hand. They shot her.
Hmm.
She literally came out of the car like this. They fucking
there's
shot.
some
They
cops that-
literally damn near instantly shot her. The only good news for her is she lived.
Well, there's some cops that will shoot immediately to put the threat down, and then there's some that will give them multiple times to put it down.
Yep.
You know, they'll let
Yeah,
them for
what I
30
what I
seconds.
didn't quite understand in that one. I get it from a legal perspective. The cops are perfectly fine in that
Mm.
situation, but I'm thinking, okay, it's a little lady with a knife. You can't like play ring around the rosy, running around the vehicles, making her chase you. She'd probably fall over before you need to shoot her. You know, it's like, okay, how much of a threat is she to them, kind of thing. Hello, you're big guy, she's a little girl. That was my only sort of questionable about it. You know, from a pure legal perspective, 100%. They were in the right.
Yeah.
They got cleared as they should have. But it's just one of those, really? You just wanted to you needed target practice for the day or something? It was just one of those. It's like you kind of wonder why. And it wouldn't have been
But
because of clothes. It wouldn't have been because of clothes. She probably didn't have many clothes on. She was at the beach. She was probably in a swimsuit. Those
Yeah.
freaking tasers would have gone through that, no problem.
We
at
had
the
a we
same
had an
time, it
incident here,
depends. Oh, go ahead.
and we had an incident here about a year ago, actually about 6 months ago in Jefferson Parish, where they were looking for a vehicle in an armed robbery in a shootout in New Orleans, and they traced it to an apartment complex right in Metairie. And they went there and they had the apartment. They found out where the guy lived. So they knocked on. They went to knock on this big guy's door, and the guy had gone out the window, came around, jumped in his car, and it was about 4 police officers there in different vehicles. And he backs up, and they're telling him to stop like that. And it's all on body cam. He's telling him to stop, and he runs into 2 of the police cars, knocks one of the police officers to the side with the front of the car. The other one's opened up, and they killed him. Right. Today, they came on and said that the family is suing the city, saying they weren't justified in shooting at him. He's got
A
a deadly
vehicle
weapon.
is a
to hit police
a
officers.
vehicle is a deadly weapon.
Yeah,
Sorry for the family's luck, but they're gonna lose.
well, they lost. It's all on body cam. They had body cam.
Whatever happened to families like holding their own accountable and saying, you know, it was tragedy, but you know, he was stupid.
Accountable? Is anybody held accountable anymore?
No.
I've actually, I have met some people that actually held their own family members accountable like that. Now, there was a guy I worked with at the gas company, and he was going through a green light, and a guy ran a red light on a motorcycle, and he killed him. And the family actually reached out to him and said, we're not mad at you. We know it wasn't your fault. We're not planning on suing or anything. They were like, we know he shouldn't have been on that bike. He didn't have a license for it, and he shouldn't have been on it. And we
Mm.
just want you to know that we're not mad at you and we forgive you and don't feel like we hate you because of it. Like, I thought that was really awesome for the family
Yeah.
to reach out and actually tell him that, you know, and actually put his mind at ease that like, this was not your fault. It was his. You shouldn't have been on that motorcycle.
Mm.
We
But
told him not
anyways,
to ride it.
my point is the crap that the news media puts out.
Mm.
Jesus.
Mm.
But yeah, I've seen stuff where they've said that it was unjustified, and then you actually somebody on YouTube like runs one of those police, you know, body cam channels will
Mm.
request the full
Mm-hmm.
body cam footage, and then you'll watch the whole body cam footage. You'll be like, this is nothing like the news said. What the fuck? Like, this was
Yeah,
100%
it's.
justified.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the other part of it, and the cops know this. Fucking who all has cell phones? Everybody. If
Mm.
something's going down, what do you think all those people are probably doing? They're all filming
Filming
it.
it.
So you
Yeah.
damn well
Exactly.
know
Everybody's a reporter these days.
you damn well know as a cop that you're being recorded. So you're not likely to like do something stupid
It was like that guy
because you
down here
know
in
it's going to be
Florida.
videoed.
It was like that guy down here in Florida that was drunk at his sister's wedding, and the two cops showed up because he had pushed a couple women down, and he knocked the one cop out, jumped on top. This dude was big too. He wasn't small. He
Mm.
knocked the one cop out, and you see on the guy's body cam, the one cop is laying on the ground snoring. The other guy, and then he jumps on top of the other cop, and the other cop pulled his gun out while he was on his back on the ground and shot and killed the dude. And then the family tried to say it was the cop's fault. And the cops were being totally courteous with the guy. Hunter trying to get him to calm down. They were like, just come talk to us, you know, and then the guy just flipped the fuck out. And it's like,
Yeah, that's the bad part about shit. The worst I hear, and Joe could probably correct me, is like PCP. PCP makes
Yep.
those people just fucking
nuts, yeah.
nuts.
And it gives them like superhuman
Completely
strength too.
nuts. Yeah, it's super duper strength. It's like the worst one to find as a cop. It's like the worst one to come up on that somebody's high on because those fuckers can. Yeah, they're like Superman on PCP.
Yeah, you saw that too, Jonathan. Yeah, if you watch the full body cam footage of that one, those two cops that one cop was completely justified in that. He was on the ground getting punched and he pulled his
Yeah.
gun while his partner was knocked out on the ground. I mean, and like I said, that dude was not a small guy. He was big. You could definitely tell he hit the gym.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the cops were not being, aggressive or anything. They were just like, hey, come talk to us. And then he's holding on to his sister and they tried to like split him up. And the cop got in between him and sister and like pushed him apart and said, come talk to me. And then that's when he punched the cop.
Some people make angry drunks. He sounds like one of them.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I knew plenty of
There
people
are
throughout my life.
a lot of in general, I would say most drunks, yeah, they'll mellow out for the most. They'll mellow out for the most part. They just want to get the buzz. But there are those, and
Oh, I've
I
known
wouldn't
plenty of
say it's a
people.
high percentage, but it's probably a decent percentage that just turn into
Yeah,
idiots. They're
I knew plenty of people.
angry drunks.
I knew plenty of people throughout my life that were the nicest people when they were sober, but the minute they got drunk, just turned into straight assholes. But when they were
Mm.
sober, they would give the shirt off their back. They'd give you a ride somewhere. They were just really nice.
I'll just say this. I
Do
had
anything
one
for you.
friend who became not my friend because he pulled a knife on me on New Year's Eve.
Mm.
And I had to talk his ass down. I didn't have anything to do with him after that.
You wouldn't.
And there was that one guy who was very anti-police. I remember that. And the police department in his area offered him, they were like, we want you to come in and we want you to do police simulator. They had like one of those really nice simulators where it was like video and it's kind of like playing a video game almost.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we want you to get into a situation. And then they also took him through a course where people pretended to be, suspects, and he was like, we wanted you to tell us what you think we should do in these situations. And then once he realized that he only had a split second to react and he always
Yep.
pulled the trigger, he was like, his whole perspective was completely changed when he left there. He was like, I can't believe, he's like, he just couldn't believe how fast a reaction you had to be at reacting to something to try to figure out who was a threat. and who
Armchair
wasn't.
quarterback, you can do a lot of things in half a second. It's literally a choice of life or death, you or them.
Sometimes it's less than a half a second.
Mm-hmm. But
Because
that's
they
why
already know what they're getting ready to do. You don't have a clue.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But that's the good news about the fact that they're, using drones now
Mm.
when they go in to these places and sort of using the drone to hunt them out instead of the cops having to hunt them out. At least then the cops can fucking find their ass and know where the hell they're at.
Yep.
The little FPV drones now.
Yep. Yep.
I'm in there with the little tiny hawk screaming through the
Well,
house.
and here's the other thing about drones too. Let's say you're going into our house or whatever. You can fly the drone around, look in the fucking windows and try to get intel, right? What do
Yep.
you see in there? All that kind of good stuff. So as a tool for that type of thing, what the police need to do, it's great. I mean, theoretically, you give them a thermal drone. They can fly around the house and kind of know where all the bodies are on the inside just from the heat
Yep.
signature of the people. To
Yep.
know, hey, there's 5 people in here. We might need a few, we might need some backup. Oh, there's
Yeah.
only one guy and he's back here in this part of the house before they even ever enter the house. Great tool.
I'm reading this article and the title is After Dubious Shoot Downs, NORAD now checks with balloon hobbyist groups.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, that's
has-
what
Oh, that's funny.
that's why I was surprised with Taser and doing the drones. A Taser drone when they do entry into a house would be freaking a godsend. Is it going to work every time? No. Is it
Well,
going to
you
work
know,
a lot of the
That's
time?
like them
Probably.
little robots, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly. They have the robots that they can send in too.
Because they've got tasers on them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. Yep, they do. So, that's the part it was like, oh, the cops are just gonna like tase everybody because no, they're not. They're gonna use it in the situations that they know
It's appropriate.
it's appropriate because
Well,
something
and
could go
besides that,
sideways.
The other way to look at it too, Rod, is would you rather have a police officer tase a relative or a friend that is out of control or shoot their ass?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yep.
The reality is, Joe, the military needs to give the police some of those crowd control devices that we have, in particular the sound one that you can literally just fucking blast those bastards with. They will not.
Yeah.
They will not they'll be on the ground when the cops go in, when they get their ears blasted with that shit. The non-lethal weapon stuff that we have in the military, that one is, yeah.
Yep.
So let's make the non-lethal stuff even better and easier for the cops to do, because I'd rather have them make a mistake with a non-lethal device than, well, a lethal device. Give them the tools to keep themselves safe and control the situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And if they make a mistake, oops. But the oops didn't mean a death.
Yeah.
Johnny's getting ready to get some bad weather coming through a meet right above him. And then they actually have a radar indicated tornado with a debris field. But that's above, it's about 5 or 6 miles above, 10 miles above him.
Oh, I see
6
that.
miles.
Yeah, I see that storm. It might graze the top of Jacksonville if it keeps going that way.
Yeah. Well, Jacksonville looks so close to Louisiana. I mean, Jackson, Mississippi looks so close to Louisiana, but drive from Hammond to Jackson, that's a pain in the ass drive.
Oh,
That's the longest ass, I hate that drive. Both ways, either way, coming one way or the other. It's just that, it's up and down little hills and it's just a pain in the ass straight drive.
Mm.
I've only made it about 4 times in my life. I hope to never make it a 5th. It's like Mobile, Alabama to what is it, Birmingham? Yeah, I think it's Birmingham. You go all the way just straight up. I used to hate that drive.
Well, look at Daryl launching a wing. Yeah.
That looks fun. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, Jody.
Oh, you can hear a plane flying over too. He's really close to an airport. That was an easy launch.
Yeah. Almost like a frisbee.
And then you go back and control it, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those wings that's probably
Autonomous.
very, autonomous. Yeah, you probably
Yeah,
just
you probably set waypoints or something like that, and then just let it go.
actually, Joe, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
That update for the Avata 2, did it fix the twitch?
I think it did. I've flown it one time since I didn't notice it.
Did you tell Joe
didn't notice
about how you almost lost it out there?
What do you mean, mine?
You lost signal.
I've lost signal 2 or 3 times with it now.
Is that the update
Well-
that allowing it to do 100 frames a second at 4K now for slow motion?
Yeah. It's the first
Yeah.
firmware.
Yeah, I've had about 3 incidents now where I've been about 900 feet out and my goggles completely pixelate.
You know, that seems to be something that I see in common. And people are going, you know, for being 04, doesn't really seem to be any better than the 03.
Seems worse.
And I tried to tell people when the difference what 04 was, and it's like it's not a big saving grace. 04, they basically added an extra transmitter and added 2 extra antennas for receiving. Great. That still doesn't increase the power
Oh,
that's in that signal. It's still the same power in the signal.
Mm.
And the other thing that they did is they added 2 slower megahertz options into the bandwidth so that they could drop the data rate down back to the controller when it gets out further.
Oh,
So,
Oh,
Jody-
great. So that's how you get it to go further range. You send less data. or you send the data slower. That's essentially what they did. That's how they got more range, because they added those two other frequencies where they could send it a bit slower to get themselves a bit farther. It's not like it really.
Yeah.
Well, the whole idea of the other frequency is that it's not as widely used on anything else, and therefore will have less interference.
Yeah, the 5.2 thing is great. But as you know, Mark, where do you get more range? 5 gigahertz or 2.4?
You get
2.4.
more range with
2.4. Yeah.
you get better bandwidth with 5.8.
Which is why a lot of the military uses 900 megahertz, because you go even further with 900 megahertz.
900 megahertz was what the remote control planes went to over here when they
Mhm.
left 27 megahertz.
There's a lot of government military that's in that 900 megahertz range too.
Mm.
So the 5.2 is great. It's at least not quite as polluted, but it's not really going to help you long range.
No.
2.4 is actually better for long range.
Mm-hmm.
But why don't we have better battery technology that we can stay afloat longer than going further away?
Yeah, that's all coming as the
You don't
EV
need-
stuff comes and the batteries for all that develops.
Yeah, well, you don't need to go further away.
That's what I mean. I don't want to
You
go
don't
2, 3,
supposed
10
to go
kilometers,
further
but I
away.
want to stay up there for 60 minutes.
Point is, you're not supposed to go further away.
I know
The,
that.
the range on them that they've got now, especially in the States where you've got like 5 times, 6 times the power output that we're allowed, is more than enough.
You'll see thunderstorms.
I think it's basically 2 watts
Fahrenheit
is what it is here in the States.
Yeah, and ours is 25 milliwatts.
Mm.
So you've got 8 times the amount of power.
But anyways, this is what I've been trying to tell people in the community, because I come from the computer side of the world, and you know, these devices, the wattage output, DJI is limited on the wattage output, so there's only so damn much you can do with the signals to try to get a reliable, connectable
I don't
signal. They can't turn the voltage up, so how
I
much
don't think-
better is it going to be?
I don't think it's 2 watts, isn't it? 200 milliwatts.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. So on a wireless router,
That-
it's actually the
Amount like-
a router can put out router can put out 4 watts.
We need 5 watts.
I think CBs are limited to the same. I think CBs are limited to like 4 watts as well, or something like that.
That'll fix the problem.
They were supposed to be limited to 4 watts. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been hacks around for the crystals forever to obviously output them a hell of a lot higher than that. But
That and them using linear amplifiers.
yeah. So if you played in that world, you'd understand that DJI is limited on the output. And all they're doing now is playing. I don't blame them. They're trying to make it as good as they can with what they have to play with. Nothing wrong with that. But to just go, 04 is just so much better than 03. Yeah, not that much.
Yeah. That'd be the way, Jody. 3,000 watts. Yeah.
No, the answer is 5G. Fly
Yeah,
the drone with 5G. That's really the answer
The
to
goggles on
long-range
your head
drones.
and how it fries your brain.
Yep.
Ban the
Yeah,
dongles.
3,000 watts, turn on the drone and the drone explode.
Yeah, they got that dongle over in Asia for it. So the dongle will ultimately be probably our key to having beyond visual line of sight.
Yep.
The problem with BV loss is, well, as Joe has found out, you can he can lose signal at 900 feet. So
Yep.
Anyway,
And it's bad
it
when
may
you
or
two-
may not do much good to get BV loss.
4 watts.
It's bad
at
when you're 2 feet over the water too.
Oh
Complete-
yeah, exactly.
the 4 watts at 5 gigahertz.
Well, that Wi-Fi's get to 6 gigahertz. I was surprised that when they did 04, I was literally surprised that they did not add the 6 gigahertz band
Mm.
because that's part of the Wi-Fi spec now. Is
Yeah.
is the 6 gigahertz band. So I was like, to me, that would have made more sense for them to add into the protocol to add that band. Hell, they could have gone 4 bands. They could have done the 5.2 and the 6 gigahertz, but but I was surprised they didn't do I was literally surprised they didn't do the add the 6 gigahertz band since that's been added to the Wi-Fi spec.
There you go, Paul. That's what I had tonight.
Nice.
That would not be on my diet. Hey, speaking of which, Joe, you still taking Ozempic?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
garlic. That's garlic bread with 4 cheeses.
How does that work? How's that working for you, Joe?
It isn't working. I did
Not when
better.
you eat, not when you eat like that.
Does it make your back better?
No,
Ozempic is just an appetite suppressant. It's
Mm.
supposed to eat less.
Yeah.
it doesn't suppress my appetite.
Then tell your doctor it's not working.
Maybe you
Yeah,
should
I'm gonna-
adopt what Mitch is doing. Old guy in a drone who's now old guy carnivore.
Yeah.
Do the all meat diet.
Yeah, the lion diet.
Yeah, what's he called?
The
Carnivore.
diet.
Yeah, carnivore.
Yeah, it's also called the lion diet.
And he
Got it.
Clog all your arteries with all that fucking bacon you're eating every day.
It's basically the Atkins diet.
Yeah.
No, it's Atkins on steroid and
Yeah.
zero
Yeah.
sugar. But he says
But
he
it's
feels
zero-
better than
Zero fat as well.
It looks
as much as you want to think that is the case, Justin. His blood work numbers, because he showed them. God damn, he's got better numbers than us.
Well, he believes
He's
the
not gonna
numbers-
die. He's not gonna die from a heart attack with cholesterol.
But what I'm saying is he believes what the doctors tell him if they go
Oh,
with
he's-
what he's
oh, yeah.
saying. But the minute the doctors tell him something that doesn't agree with the way he's promoting that diet, now the doctors are quacks. Trust me, I've listened to tons of his live streams.
Yeah, I know.
He'll agree with the doctors when they go along with his point of view.
The other thing you have to listen to is he feels
And then he says, I've done my research. I know that these doctors are quacks. I'm like, well, where are you getting your research from? The people that are doing the research, and he'll be like, oh, this medical journal, they're a bunch of idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm like, well,
You
they're
know,
the ones
there's
that are
been
in that
lots of
field
things.
studying it.
There's been lots of scientific things that we changed our mind on later. I could give you a goddamn good example. They used to tell
Just
you
look at Fauci.
don't fucking eat
Yeah,
eggs.
yeah, exactly.
Don't eat eggs. They're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Now what
Yeah.
are they at? Now what are they at? Oh, go ahead, eat those eggs. They're actually good for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Mitch is not necessarily wrong.
You're right. You're right
Fauci
about
told
that,
Congress
Joe.
yesterday. Yeah, Fauci told Congress yesterday, you remember how he used to say you got to follow the science and do all this? He says sometimes you have to look both ways at the science yesterday. He said it completely covering his
He
ass
changed
now.
his tune.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've had a
They
thing
got
on
all on him.
that if you have between 3 and 5 eggs a day, it's good for your memory. It'll, stay off Alzheimer's and dementia a bit.
You know, it may be bad on one thing, but the things that it's good for outweigh the bad things, right? So
Yep.
Yeah, you've got to moderate certain things to make you're never going to be on the good side or the bad side. You've got to sit right in the middle.
So Joe, just for your mind's sake, I've been reading a lot of articles around because they've been showing up on my news feed. But you know, one of the things that they're discovering with Ozempic and Wegovy is even for those people who don't really lose much with it,
Hmm.
it's benefiting your heart.
Yeah, that's
They've
the one
literally
thing.
they've literally found out that, oh yeah, this shit's actually good for your heart too. You get better heart numbers out and while you're taking this medication. And it's like, oh, okay.
Or
Because
I
it
could
is
just
controlling
start,
your sugar.
or I could start eating 5 eggs a day with a bunch of bacon and drinking wine at night, and that should do the same thing, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, drinking the wine for sure.
Red
It's got to be
wine.
red wine, though.
Yeah, the red one.
Red,
Yeah,
red,
exactly.
red wine at night.
Got to be red wine because of the
Yeah, 'cause
antioxidant.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
5
exactly. It's
eggs
got
a
the
day,
antioxidant.
5 eggs a day, half a pound of bacon and red wine. That sounds like a diet.
That'll be
Mm.
right. Got to be lean bacon, though. Lean bacon.
It worked great because it's got no sugar.
It
I
doesn't have to.
bought the stuff that Justin likes, that turkey bacon.
Oh, that's just nasty.
You know, there's literally kind
Yeah,
of
but-
two problems with our food.
They've started putting turkey bacon on burgers over here a lot, but then because most of them are Muslims.
Yeah,
There is so much fucking sugar in the crap that's in the grocery stores.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything. You wonder why 60% of the people in the United States are obese? Go look at the fucking ingredients. The amount of sugar that's in crap is unreal. And the other
Yeah.
one, and this directly impacts heart disease, is how much fucking salt
Good
is in
evening,
that
and
crap.
Andrew,
Dominic.
musical squares.
The high
Andrew jumped in, Mark jumped off.
the high dosage of sodium, it's no wonder people have water retention and gain weight just from freaking water from all the damn sodium that's in the food you eat.
So what you're saying, the French fries I just ate and the bag of Smarty candies I ate yesterday, that's not good for me. Huh?
I don't know. I don't know what the ingredients said. So yeah, what do I
One
know?
said sugar, one said salt.
Yeah.
it's all good
Probably.
for you.
Well, it's the amount of foods that you eat with high sodium.
I don't eat
Or
that
high
much of it,
sugar
so-
or high sugar, but fuck when you can
Or
when it's
both.
hard to avoid those things. It's no wonder
The
everybody's
problem
fat in
is-
America. And the even worse part is the cheap food is the worst food.
Yeah.
If you actually want healthy food, it costs you
Yeah.
like 10
Spend
times
money
more.
for it. Yeah.
That's why you see carts of at the grocery store. You see people with carts with chips, Cheetos, Doritos.
Because at least they're
Very
And
tasty.
chips and Doritos aren't inexpensive anymore.
Nope.
No,
No.
Yeah, but take
oh,
your
$3 or $4 here.
And
Yep.
the liter or
mac
liter, 2
and
liters of
cheese.
soda,
Mac
or
and
the
cheese
lit-
with the pasta.
Yeah.
or
Go
Rod,
look at
for
how
a
much
liter of
sugar's
soda,
in that shit.
Yeah.
a 2 liter bottle of soda, Rod.
You got to get diet soda though.
Yeah, that's what I do. A lot of sodium in it though. A lot of sodium.
A
Yeah.
little bit of sodium is
Well,
good for you,
that's-
but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there's
yeah.
that-
eh,
the problem with foods these days is it's kind of a double-edged sword because we've become a society of going to the grocery store and getting food. In order to mass produce food and move it on large scales and long distances, you got to put a lot of preservatives and different shit in
Yep.
it
Yep.
to give a longer shelf life. And that's kind of it's kind of a double-edged sword, right?
And the other part of it is there's a hell of a lot more sit down jobs now than there was 70, 80 years ago.
Well, there weren't near as many there 80 years ago.
It's just like every generation that comes along gets more and more free time too.
Mm.
If you look at the study on that over the last 100 years of how
Yeah,
much free
automation,
time somebody
automation
has.
is trying to give us more free time. That's why I keep trying to tell people, don't be scared of AI. AI is just going to be a tool. for the
Yeah,
most
I
part.
we
mean-
worship our AI overlords.
It's just like
Yeah.
farmers these days. You know, a lot of farms that have a lot of automated stuff going on. They don't have to work as hard as
who's
their
spraying the
great
fields?
grandparents do.
Who's spraying the fields now? The drones. And they
Well,
have
that's-
sensors on board that can
Well,
look square
I'm
by
saying they don't
square
even-
to how much they
it-
need to spray.
It
They
de-
don't even have to drive the combines. Those are
Donald.
self-automated now.
it depends
what
on
I'm
how much
saying.
you want to spend to spray your field and how much field you have. If it's too big, you're going to need a plane.
But the plane's more expensive.
But they're
Yeah, but
still
my
using
whole
technology.
point-
They're still using technology to get it down to smaller grids to know exactly how much fertilizer they need in each sort of grid
But you are a
to
tool.
reduce the amount that they
Yeah,
have to put out.
I'd agree with that, Mad Bull. It's a tool.
Hi, Don.
It's a tool.
And the tool, and the tools have to be programmed.
Yeah, but my whole point
Yeah,
is
and-
like these days they don't even have to clean the cow shit out of the dairy, like the dairy area where they milk the cows now. They have a thing that comes through and scrapes the whole floor and cleans it. They don't have to drive the
Yeah,
combines
it's
anymore.
automated. Mhm.
Yeah, there's so much self-automation that a farmer does not have to work as hard as his great grandparents did on a farm. And he can run it with a lot less people, you know, you don't need
Which is
30
why we
people
can have
working on the
larger
farm.
farms because of the automation.
Yeah, you can run a farm with just 2 or 3 guys instead
But
of
it
having to
creates,
have
but the
20.
problem with the larger farms is we're creating a larger environmental problem.
I
But
saw
we
a thing
need-
on, I saw a thing on how it's made with the milk cows. And they bring those cows in and they walk in and the door closes. And then it's like a car wash that goes underneath and does the udders and cleans everything, sprays them down with disinfectant. Then everything goes on automatic, milks the cow, sprays them down again, cleans it up, gets them out, washes it down, and the next one comes in.
Right,
everything
they don't have
automated.
to, they don't have to do that by hand anymore.
Yep.
Where they would have had 1 or 2 guys and they're doing that all day.
Well,
They don't have
years
to pay
ago,
that.
that's why most farmers had like 6 and 8, 10 kids, because they all had to have working on the farm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Now you can
Mhm.
run a massive ass farm with just 1 or 2 hands. You don't have
Yeah.
to have
When they
25
want
guys
kid.
working. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you probably could herd cattle with fucking drones,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Depending on what cattle it is,
Well, what
because
you
some
can do,
cattle,
like, don't you
'cause-
think, Andrew, that eventually they'll be able to train the animals to do what the drones tell them to do?
yes, but
Every possibility.
the tone of the engine from the props of a drone will scare the animals.
Every
Not a
possi-
cow, it won't. A cow will not. I've literally taken my FPV drone like 2 feet over their head. They don't even twitch an eyelid. They literally couldn't care, give a 2 shits if that drone is in the air. That's an FPV drone. I watched Chris Hope that one time fly his drone around and his cows didn't
Yeah.
react. And there's this one place north of me that I flew. There have to be some cows out there. So I took my drone out there. Nah. They didn't even know that thing was in the air. They didn't even bother to look. They didn't even bother to look up.
I bet you can, Don. But what Paul alluded to, my fourth great grandfather was a farmer, was a farmer. And Gramps' grandfather was also, no, Gramps' father was a dairy farmer.
Great grandfather.
You go back enough generations, we all have farmers in the family because it's the only way
Yeah.
you lived.
Yeah,
You grew
This-
your own food.
this is all upstate New York. Only difference is one was a few miles north of the other.
And the other part with our food source is all the damn hormones we use to grow everything, which is why the kids are like maturing earlier because we get all these hormones and all this food that we eat.
The antibiotic free.
Mm-hmm. Then you wonder why everybody's fat. Because we're putting shit in the food to make it grow faster. It's fattening them up and fattening us up.
Did you ever try it, Don? Plucking a chicken?
What about a pheasant plucker?
Same thing.
Now, is that with, I can milk with just one hand?
He's talking about cheating on his left hand with his right hand. That's what he's doing.
I
Right.
thought
I was more confused why he was calling his lips his hand.
I thought Justin was going into a different kind of joke about that one.
Yeah, the rain's hitting Johnny now.
Yeah, I see it. I get the My Radar app up.
Yeah, it's must be gonna be serious here because they haven't broke away from the weather in 33 minutes. It's gonna be a little bit north of me.
Is he glued to a specific area?
Yeah, it's right above me. Yeah, there's a radar indicated tornado. And it's right above, it's above Johnny by about 5 miles, but it's coming straight across to Folsom, which is right up the street from me. That's where I would love to live, up in Folsom, but you know, we can't get property up there anymore. And it looks like they got a debris field and everything on the radar. And it's coming right above Folsom.
Where the hell's Hammond? I'm zeroing in on this thing and I'm like,
Hammond is right above, you gotta look for I-55. You see I-55 and I-12, that's Hammond right there.
okay, so north of Lake Pontchartrain. Oh, there
Yeah,
it is.
north-
I see it. Yeah, above Lake
Northwest.
Pontchartrain. Yeah.
So Folsom is just too
So
expensive.
he's east of Baton Rouge.
It's
No, it's country living, and everybody that lives up there never moves. They just build it and stay. There's a lot of places up there. They just had 2 apartments come
is
up.
it an up and coming and becoming more people are coming here?
No, it's a little
sort of thing?
small town. Let me see the population.
Not big.
The population density was
547 people live up there in
Oh,
Folsom, Louisiana.
that is a tiny town.
And that's only about where I want to buy that property, it's only about 5 miles north of that.
So you'd have to go up to Folsom anyway and then go from there, right?
No, Folsom is where I'd go shopping at because they've got a market up there called Main Market. And this place, they'll throw specials on it where you can go in and buy like 50 pounds of spare ribs, or ribs like this, and they'll throw a crazy price. It might be like $60. Because they buy them by bulk and buy them in, they bring them in like that, and they sell bulk stuff like that all the time.
Sounds like a Sam's Club.
It's a Sam's Club without needing to join.
Yeah.
And it's for that. It's a little small town market, called Main Market.
So a little town that I lived in when I was a kid, at least in 2020, its population was 250. So you can imagine when I was a kid that the population was just a little over 100. There was one stoplight and like 2 stop signs
there
in
is.
town. That's as big as that
Now
town was.
that's a tiny
Well,
town.
Wow.
Folsom has one stop sign. I mean, one stoplight. It's a 4-way stoplight, and maybe 2 stop signs. Maybe 2. But I'll
Yeah,
tell
that
you
sounds
what,
like
when you
where
get
I
to
grew up.
Folsom, the highway goes from 55 down to 25. And you better not be going 26. When you go through Folsom, you
Uh,
better be going 25 or under.
They watch it closely, I guess.
In the
Oh,
whole
there's, the
tells
police
that-
department's only about 10 people. And they sit there
Oh.
and that's all they do is that's how they make their money off tickets.
in the whole of the Seychelles, there is one set of traffic lights.
Yeah, where my grandfather lived, my great grandfather, mom's father, he lived growing up in a small, very small town with maybe one traffic light. It was right near a paper mill.
I'm trying to get some prices.
So what's up, Mark?
Not a lot.
You walking the pup?
Hmm?
You walking the pup a few minutes ago?
No, I was on the phone.
Because I saw you were on and then you jumped off quickly.
Yeah, my phone rang.
Yeah.
And seeing as how I used my phone for this,
Yeah.
I can't have a phone call and a Zoom call at the same time.
I'm not sure a cell phone will allow you to do that. Have a Zoom and a cell phone call at the same time. I think the phone call overrides
Oh.
Zoom.
No, it doesn't. Whatever you're on is what you stay on unless you change it.
Anyways, Joe, the little towns like that are horrid because, well, that's how the cop gets paid. It's off of how many
Right.
tickets he writes. It's the only way that the little towns get any revenue to pay his ass. So
Yeah.
he's gonna write lots of tickets.
Yep.
I got one in somewhere in Tennessee. Freaking went through the little town. I was still half asleep, and get out, and all of a sudden you weren't in the town anymore. You were out in the country. So I started speeding up. I got pulled over. Fuck. The city limit was like another mile down the road. It's like, what the hell? They obviously did it intentionally for doing exactly that. It was must be the only way they were getting revenue.
Yeah, out on the main street going towards
For
town.
God's sake, I'll be back in a minute.
Yesterday about 4 o'clock, people were almost like drag racing because there was no traffic. So two guys just decided to drag race, which obviously is not legal. That
Mm.
is not legal, right?
I'm really not sure what the speed limit is in Florida. You're pretty safe to drive 10 over the speed limit. For sure.
Well, on
And
the
I've
highway,
and
yeah.
I've literally watch people going way faster than that and just like leave them alone. I don't know.
Because if you take 26 from Charleston to Columbia, it's 2 hours and almost a straight shot. So people go a lot of people go 90.
Unless
Mm.
there's traffic, and then you're doing 20.
There's usually traffic.
Yeah. I've driven that section. I was glad to get the fuck out of that section. You weren't
Mhm.
driving the speed
Well,
limit. You weren't driving anywhere near the speed limit because of how
There-
much fucking traffic was on that
they're
road.
slowly working on an I-26 widening project, which
they
is
need
their
to like
up-
triple. They need to like triple that road.
it's their update for
Mhm.
26 for modernizing.
Well, I know the one thing they need to do in Florida to help I-95 is they need to put a freaking road from Jacksonville to Orlando because the traffic in Daytona and I-95 is goddamn freaking horrid. And once you get past I-4 where everybody hangs a right to go over to Orlando, like 2/3 of the traffic disappears off of 95.
Maybe they need a sky bridge.
No, they need to put a tollway in from toll Florida so they can make more money and tourists, because you have to realize
Welcome back.
everybody driving down the East Coast is coming down 95
Yeah.
to go to Orlando, to go to Disney and all of them. So, just put a toll road from Jacksonville to Orlando so it's a little straighter and they get there a little faster. And oh, by the way, all the damn truck traffic can go there instead of coming through Daytona and jamming everything the hell up.
So a lot of people sometimes will come down through Pennsylvania, through Tennessee and Kentucky, and then cut back over, cut down towards 95.
Jody, Don.
About end up halfway down South Carolina, then cut over to
Depends on where
95.
they're going to come down 77, 95. Everybody east of 77 is going to end up on 95.
Hmm.
And if they're a little west of 77, they'll either come down 77 and 26 over, or they'll go west and hit 75.
Because
All right, Paul, I'm jumping off. I'll
s-
catch y'all later.
Later,
See,
Johnny.
just
Later.
But anyways,
Dalvin-
we definitely need a more direct route between Jacksonville and Orlando, which would
Are
take
there-
a shit ton of pressure off of I-95 around Daytona.
do they need to do that in Australia there, Dominic?
I don't know. I don't do that much country driving, so I can't really.
Like
Answer.
where a lot of people hook this way and they should put a road between two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say that'd be a great possibility, but at the same time, our roads are pretty much central. There are spots that it would make sense to do it that way.
Are they actually updating the roads, like
Yeah.
repaving, filling potholes
Yeah.
and that sort of thing?
Yeah, they do that regularly.
Or
One
One
do
of
they
the
Unbelievable.
worst planned
Traffic.
places in the US has got to be Atlanta. They just let everybody they
yes.
just let everybody fucking build, and they let them build whatever and forgot to build roads.
the highest concentration for cars going around a city, Atlanta. The
Yeah.
spooey that around Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
like 4 or 5 lanes. Rod, you probably done it.
Oh, I lived down there for 2 years, hated it.
So you probably know the name of it, right?
400 is the worst. 485 up on the north and northeast side is the worst in Atlanta.
Because the only time during the day when it's not crowded is like at 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when my neighbor's son used to go
Mm.
from here to Auburn.
Actually, it's probably a
University of
little
Auburn.
it's a little later than that, because you have all the fucking club shit downtown. So you have people with that running around too. So it's more like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. If you go through at 1, 2
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning, you'll fly through Atlanta. Other than that, oh yeah, you're gonna get jammed up in traffic.
Because we used to go from Hilton Head, leave Hilton Head about 4 o'clock in the morning, and get back to Albany, New York at about 10 o'clock at night. Straight through. Spring break.
Yeah, you got to watch when you hit Washington,
Yeah.
the Baltimore Washington
It's-
area. Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter what time you hit Washington, there's always traffic.
Uh-huh. And
Well,
then
I would
obviously
imagine
your
the
other one was
Baltimore
Philly.
area with that bridge being gone has really screwed stuff up.
It's a royal screw up.
Because they used to say that it used, people that used to go across that bridge, they'd go across and there'd be a 15-minute delay to get where we're going. And now it's like a 2-hour drive all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
So going 50 minutes zip. Now it's a 2-hour right?
Yep.
That would put a big damper on your drive.
Oh, yeah, that'd screw you up big time.
Well, you would
only-
hope the businesses in those areas that were impacted by that would try to work a little bit more like COVID and do a little more remote work.
I know a few times the 404 in LA, they've done the businesses have come out and say, get your ice cream, water, $2.
Hmm.
Or somebody would come out and open up a temporary bar right in the middle because everything's just parked.
Oh yeah.
I used to work right in the middle of Manchester town centre. That's why I went to work on my motorbike.
So were you able to get around okay on the motorbike? Did anybody give you any hassle or?
No, it used to take me 11 minutes to get to work.
Versus?
Well, it take once I had to use public transport instead of
Oh,
the bike.
okay.
Then it used to take me 20 minutes to get into the centre of Manchester and then a 10-minute walk to the office. So that was half an hour then. In the car, it would probably be 15 minutes to get to the car park and then another 10-minute walk to the office. Whereas
So-
the motorbike, I could park in the underground garage of the office.
Well, there's a plus of being underground. Less flooding.
We don't get flooding in Manchester.
I don't think Manchester gets a lot of floods.
Hmm.
It's 300 feet above sea level.
So how far north are you from, say, London?
Around 200 miles.
Okay, so
Yes,
Actually, you're
about
northwest, right?
3.5. So
Just
you're
around
like
the
3.5 hours.
Yeah, London's basically just slightly up from southeast.
Okay, so
Um,
you're
Manchester is northwest,
yes, so you're just
Okay.
around the corner.
okay,
just
so you're
below-
north. Okay.
or the Lake District.
Yeah,
What you've got to remember is that England is only 400 miles from north to south.
it's about that big. Yeah,
Yeah, about like Florida. Actually, it may be
Yeah.
shorter than Florida.
It is smaller than Florida, England. Well, Britain, if you include Scotland, which is another couple of 100 miles further on. I mean, like from the southernmost part of England to the northernmost part of Scotland is only something like 750 miles.
yeah, because that's Land's End to John O'Groats.
Gross, yeah.
See, that would be.
Trip, I would still be in Victoria.
I would say that's about 12 hours.
What?
Bottom
Actually,
of-
8.5.
The bottom
Actual-
of England to the top of Scotland.
is nearly 14 hours.
14.
Oh, okay. I thought it would have been about 8.5. Actually, probably Melbourne, 750 mile.
Yeah, well,
About
it's
what, 500
motorway all the way. So some of those roads you're driving down normal A roads, some of them are
Yeah.
country. Most of it is motorway, but then again, motorway is still only 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, same here.
So you're talking 11 hours at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah,
That's why take the
they
train.
probably-
So
you could-
is
You could
Is-
yeah,
take
we
the
don't have any high speed
cost you
trains here.
might cost you about 300 quid to take the train.
Well, are
Because
the
apart from anything, it's a lot longer. You'd have to go from Land's End straight across to London, then from
Yeah.
London probably up to Edinburgh, and
Yeah.
then from Edinburgh up to wherever the last train stop is before it gets to John O'Groats.
Yeah.
And then figure out something else from there if you're going further.
Like taxi or bus.
Like some taxis are pretty pricey.
For
For
three and a half
long, for
three and a half
long,
into the
I mean-
centre of Manchester in a taxi will cost
Uh,
me about £18.
no, I mean long distance in a taxi.
Long distance, you can work out better rates with them.
Hmm.
Because you tell them where you want to go and you get a price up front.
Yeah. Per kilometre.
It's not always per kilometre. I mean, ours,
Mostly here.
yeah. In some European countries, they charge taxis by the minute rather than the mile.
Yeah. Sometimes here as well.
But ours it's a set fee for the first. I think
Yeah.
it's
You got the flagfall fee,
yeah.
and then certain amount of kilometres, and then certain amount of
Yeah.
minutes. That's how they do it here.
Yeah, we
If
have
you
different
book the
types of
cab, it's cheaper. If you hail a cab, it's about twice the price.
yeah, a Hackney cab is one that you have to hail or you can hail at the side of the
Yeah.
street.
Is
And
that slang for a hansom
Private
cab?
hire, you have
Hansom-
to actually book in advance. They turn up to pick you up.
Yeah.
Mark, is
Rod,
that a Habby cab, is that really a handsome cab? Is that what they call it?
A Hackney
What?
original
have you
Ori-
seen a yellow cab in a long time, Rod?
when it was Awesome Buggies, it was called a Hansom
No,
cab.
actually.
Neither have I. Joe, do you ever see many
Yeah.
yellow
Very-
cabs?
The taxi license.
Go to New York or Chicago, you'll see them.
Well,
Mm.
I used to see it when I did go to New York City, but I haven't really seen many in like 10 years.
Don't take the cab in New York anyways. Take the damn subway. It's faster. And cheaper.
That's the truth.
100% the truth. Even if you gotta walk,
part-
you're still
part-
gonna get there faster with the subway.
Parts of New York City are much more dangerous now than they were less than 10 years ago.
That's it. I mean, buses and the tram, if you happen to live on a tram route into town, are okay and certainly cheaper than taxis. But the tram stops running at midnight.
Mm.
So if you get in,
After midnight, the buses are only one step
if you get in at 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning and you want the tram, you're kind of
So
out of luck.
No, not here. They finish at midnight and start at 5:30 a.m.
Ours start at 6:30. No, 6. 6 is the first one. And they run a bit. They run till 12:30 on a Friday and a Saturday.
Yeah, they run a bit later here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Salty, the Federal Yukon.
Yeah, I think I actually liked Melbourne better than Sydney.
Well, it is
Yeah.
better. It's better public transport, well planned, wide streets, and very very well planned. The
Yeah.
way
Nice.
everything is done.
Nicer golf course.
Yeah, some great golf courses here. Even Cape Schanck.
Oh, you want a good
another
golf
great one.
course?
Hey Tim,
I-
probably
if
got
you
three of
want
the best golf courses in the world.
Tim.
if if you want a good golf course, St Andrews is Scotland.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think anything could be
Um,
better than that one.
I've been
We
there.
might have some good golf courses, but it'll never be as good as that
Oh,
one.
St Andrews, that's a beautiful
dad-
course.
Played St Andrews. I walked round with him.
As I said, we've got at least I'd say at least 3 really good ones. But there's Barnbougle in Tasmania, and that is another great golf course. Probably one
Obviously Augusta is a really good course too.
Oh.
Yeah, another good one.
Yeah, but your chances of playing that are slim to none.
Correct. Unless you're Bezos and have lots of money and can afford their fee.
Yeah,
Or Tiger
you can-
Woods, which you automatically get in.
Play Augusta. You have to be invited by a member
yeah.
or
Trying
a
to think.
member.
Mark, what if
Royal Melbourne.
I've played
He
Carnoustie
had Shank.
in Scotland. I've played a lot of courses in Scotland, but I've played Carnoustie.
Oh,
on the
another
open
great
course.
one. Yeah.
And I've also played Valderrama in Spain.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Mm.
Hey, Rod, do you know anything about this AT&T outage calling to other carriers?
Uh-uh.
Apparently, some people with AT&T are having trouble calling other carriers.
Mm.
I wish it was the other way around, so I wouldn't get as many spam calls.
That's all they put up is they're looking into why. Well, at this point, it doesn't really matter why, because it happened. I hope it's not another update like last time when they crashed half the country. You remember that, Rod?
Yeah, some router somewhere is misconfigured.
Router or cell tower?
Router. You have to
Router.
remember, once it hits the cell tower, it's land-based.
Ah,
What do you mean, London? No, it isn't.
oh,
Go
Tim.
for it. Go for it.
It's microwave linked to the next cell tower.
Mr. Tim,
How you doing, Tim?
he must be at work.
Yeah.
He's looking forward to Friday night.
Aren't we all?
He can't wait. He's gonna get drunk and get rude.
Tim, is there a party?
I didn't know.
is-
I
he
didn't
is-
know Tim needed an excuse to get drunk.
Yeah, that's right. He's the party.
And who's bringing the music?
He doesn't go for any of that stuff. Just keep pounding the beers.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
So wonder he can actually see the screen by that time.
That's
It
why
is
you bought
true.
a bigger monitor.
Well, because some suggested Tim needed a 120-inch monitor, but I don't think he has room for a 120-inch monitor.
No, he needs my 49-inch Samsung that I have.
They say the lag using a TV as a monitor is a big lag, but it's a big screen.
Is that the same curved monitor as Jason?
Mine's
got?
not TV. Mine's a monitor. It's a
Yeah.
Samsung CRG9. It's 49-inch super ultra wide.
That's the same one that Jason's bought, isn't it?
It's like 5120 by 1440.
That
Mm.
sounds great.
So it's running games at 1440p basically.
Oh,
Yeah, the newer version of this monitor is actually 240 hertz.
oh yeah.
Is it pricier than the current model?
Then mine was, yes. But that one's been coming down. It's the Samsung Samsung Odyssey 49-inch monitor.
I think
Odyssey G9. Sorry, Odyssey G9.
that's the curve.
Yeah, that's the curve. Mine's curved.
I think that's the one that Jason's just bought. He got the 43-inch and then sent it back and changed it for the 49.
Yeah, they had a price.
Oh.
They had a discount on that G9 recently. It actually brought it down to, I don't know, 12,
About-
1300 bucks, something like that, US.
Yeah, the 49 I think was 12 or 1300. Yeah,
And it's
'cause he-
normally like 1800 or something like
Yeah.
that, something stupid. So yeah, it was worth getting.
If anybody
Hey.
has the
for the 43, and when they dropped that down to like 700, and they dropped the 49 down to either 12 or 13, he sod it and sent the 43
Yeah, I
back.
don't blame him. I don't blame him. And that's a 240 hertz screen
Yeah.
too.
He also thought that because it was ultra wide, the height of the monitor just wasn't really enough at the 43-inch.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The 49-inch is only going to get you another inch at the most, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the width, not the height.
Well, it's 49 is a diagonal top to
Right.
at a bottom corner. So if it would have been a 50-inch, it would have been at normal 4x3. It would have
okay,
been
Tim,
40-inch by 30-inch.
you do
You
what
go for it.
Tim does as Tim does.
Go for it.
Yeah, this is a 32:9 aspect ratio.
Yeah. So that's double. It would get you two 16:9 on screen.
It's basically two 27 inches side by
Yeah.
side.
So that'd be
Hmm.
I think you said 42, right? Or was it 46-inch?
49-inch.
49.
Well, if it's 49 inches, why the hell not go to 50?
Because it's two 27 inches, which they already make. So they just had to put two panels in. They're double the size of the panel.
Oh, Rod, do you mind sending that link I put in the chat to Night Train? Black pepper is being recalled due to possible salmonella.
There are all kinds of things that have been recalled.
Black pepper won't get salmonella. Salmonella only happens on rotting
Meat
food.
product. Well, it's not
Yeah.
just meat. You can get it in lettuce. You can get it in almost any farm product.
Yeah.
Because one of the problems they have to watch out with the farms is all the cow shit or the pig shit on the farm next door to where they're growing the lettuce.
But the two biggest things for salmonella are pork and fish.
Yep.
Joe,
Although
did that storm come to you?
it can be chicken, as chicken does it as well. That's what my
Almost,
cat
it's almost there.
done. Chicken that had
Almost
sal-
there. Okay.
Can you hear it yet?
You know what I think?
Joe's son must be talking to him.
Oh. Fine, Tim.
But, still,
Time is it? Oh, shit. I should probably go out and go fishing.
Hmm. Getting to that time.
Fishing
Yeah.
for what?
It's
Bass?
7 o'clock. The
Crab
sun
fishing.
goes down at 8:15,
at midnight.
8:20 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's starting to get to that evening feeding
Feed.
time for the fish.
What kind of fish you going for?
The only thing that's in my lake, largemouth bass.
Hmm.
It's stocked.
Are you
literally
allowed
stock
to you catch the fish on your rod? Are you allowed to keep fish?
Hey, Andrew. as much fucking pesticide gets put down on the golf course and ends up in the waterway around here, I would want to eat those fish if I had to.
What do you use, Joe? Do you use lures or spinners, or do you
There we
use
go.
do you fly fish for them?
Why is that heading?
That's the storm that's down there where he is.
Which way is it heading?
Mark, I
He's
use
at side
I
down.
use
Yeah.
I use plastic baits, so lures.
Looks like
Yeah.
been doing bodybuilding competitions his whole life.
That
And
Which
some
way is it down?
days they like the plastic fish. Some days they like the plastic shrimp, the fake
you're in
shrimp.
trouble.
Yeah.
And I've caught a few on the spinner baits. They like the bass definitely like the spinner baits too. So
Hmm.
kind of depends on what they're hungry for that day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm west of Slidell. I'm right. I'm
I mean,
west of Slidell. And if you
most
go
likely-
right, a little bit more down.
I go,
Most
I'm right
if
there.
likely.
you're,
That's where I'm
if
at.
you're north of Slidell, then it looks like
Yeah,
trouble.
that's why you see that bridge that goes across
I see it.
right there.
I see it.
Oh, you're in
You
trouble.
see,
Paul, look down
Yeah.
from 12.
yeah, you
Look,
see where the 12 is right there
Yeah.
to the left, right there. You
Right
come
there.
down halfway between the shield and the lake. I'm right in the middle there,
You're
Yeah.
right about
right
here.
between the shield and the lake on that road.
I think you're
Right here.
likely gonna
in
get it,
trouble.
Joe.
To the right, Paul. To the right, right there. That's about where
I-
I'm at, right there.
I think you're definitely gonna get rain.
So,
Yeah, we're getting ready to get it.
Let's see what.
that's right there. That's at 8 o'clock, 8:15.
Yeah,
8:30.
we're gonna start getting it about 9.
Yeah.
Subtract an hour, Paul. He's central. It's showing you your local time zone.
Mm.
Yeah, it's close because we're starting to get
Right.
little things. You can see it outside right now. It looks dark, and our
Yeah.
sunset's not for another hour, so it's already dark outside.
Oh, no.
But
Well
you see where
done.
it says Mandeville? You see where it says Mandeville right there?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
right there, Mandeville. Okay.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah,
me-
if you ever look at that, you look at the Causeway Bridge, and you go up to I-12, then you come back halfway in between there, and that's where I'm at.
So right there is Mandeville.
Yeah, and if you look at the Causeway Bridge, it goes across Lake Pontchartrain. Yeah, I'm sitting right in the middle of, you can't see the causeway. Here's a causeway. Causeway Bridge is gonna be left to the M.
Hmm.
Right there, that's the bridge. If you go up about, keep going up a little bit, see where it says Chinchapa right there?
Yeah.
You go up right there, if you go straight up from the bridge, I'm right around that area.
Are you sure you don't live
You
in
can- There you
Wales?
go, there you go. You see Lakeview Regional?
Yeah.
I'm a half a mile from Lakeview Regional. Right there, it's a
Okay.
little further up.
Right there.
Down about where that 190 sign is, that's about where I'm at.
Oh,
Joe.
okay.
Joe, are
He's
you
just
sure
off of
you don't
190.
live in Wales?
Say what?
I said, are you sure you don't live in Wales?
No.
Some of these bloody
Yeah,
towns.
that's where I
Oh,
live, right up in that
well.
area.
Yeah.
State troopers.
Yeah, I'm right across from the state trooper. State troop. I'm right across from Troop L. If you come, Troop L's right there. If you come straight across the street, that's my apartment complex.
Ah,
Do you have a
Go to the right.
generator?
No, I don't have one.
Are you allowed to?
No, not in this apartment complex. We're gonna be all right. That's just a little summer storm.
No, I'm not thinking about that storm. Ignore that thing. It's just a little rain. I'm
Well,
more
you see,
thinking
I'm-
about hurricane season.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm
Justin,
actually,
are
you see where it says that little bayou right there? That's the
yeah.
little bayou. That's the little bayou that floods my apartment all the time. Cause I'm in that little, you see where it's got underneath it, where it says Port Huron right there? Where it came up and said Port Huron, that little circle down, go down. Right there. This little, it goes around. That's actually the thing going around my apartment complex. And I'm all the way over to the right by East Approach, by the Dark Causeway Approach. So that's the little bayou that floods all the time and floods my apartment complex.
Buy you yours? What?
It's Bayou Tet Lors.
It's French.
Now those
Keep
French.
yours.
You what?
Yeah, I'm right in that, right about where your thumb's at right there.
Right here?
Yeah, you go a bit low to the left. Go to the left. Left. Keep going. Keep bringing the cursor over to the left. No, you're going too
No,
deep into it. Keep go up a little bit. Now go left. My apartment's about right. Keep going a little bit more left. Right there. My apartment's right in that little curve right there.
Yeah, I couldn't read. I can't read that. How do you spell it?
Which one?
The bayou.
TETEL apostrophe OURS.
Right. So TETE means head.
There's the Louisiana State Police Troop
Yep.
L.
Apostrophe
Yeah, they're
is.
right across the street from us.
Then what's OURS?
Now, where is this
That
main
one's-
highway right here with you?
That's Highway
It's-
190. That
I mean,
goes
if
from
it was no
New
U,
Orleans
it's
straight up
Joe.
through Franklinton, Covington, everything.
Who's?
They curious, Rod, have you heard anything about Walmart running 24-hour day stores again?
No, they're not
That's
doing it.
quite a storm, though.
Well, that's we get that about once a week now. That one's not bad. It's bad when it's coming from the south and it trains over us. That's when it floods us.
If you see purple, then look out.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
see
that's-
purple, you're in trouble.
That's just going to cool us down for a little bit. It'll be over
That
with
means
tomorrow.
harder
Be
rain.
sunshine again. Yeah, we get it all the time with that. There's a lot of lightning in that one too right now. In about another 15 minutes or actually about another hour, I should get warning saying lightning has been detected in our area. And as soon as they say it, the dogs come running over to me. As soon as they hear that little announcement, they know what it means. Because it comes on and go, lightning has been detected in your area. And all of a sudden, boom, they're right here. Yeah. So today is gonna be a lightning night. It's gonna be a lightning night.
Are Tino and your other one, are they afraid of thunder and lightning?
Tino don't give a shit. Tino lay down on his back and lay there. Loki will get behind me and Cleo will try to climb on my lap.
So it sounds
She'll
like they're
start
okay.
hyperventilating. Hey, Loki. I said something about Loki. He comes over and gets up trying to get my lap.
Well, what do you guys think?
Yeah,
Dominic's,
ready to.
Dominic's got that look on his face like, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm ready to.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go
Okay.
try to figure out how to hook this tinge unit up so my back stop hurt.
Okay, Joe, I hope you're feeling better.
Doing
Andrew,
amazing.
thanks for popping in. Rod, take care.
We'll go
Later.
drink some vodka. What do you think?
Mark, you
Michael,
stay out of
stop it.
trouble. I know that's gonna be tough.
Later,
Bye, everybody.
Tim. Bye.
y'all.
Bye, Tim.
Bye, Tim.